Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian at Brian's Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the family. We are Real Tech for Real People. Today's video is an exciting one. It is one of the last TVs to show you in this crazy 2022 TV year, and it may be one of the very best. Today we are filming at Value Electronics. Special thank you to Value Electronics. Please consider making your next AV purchase through them. Check the description below for all their information. Let them know that Brian from Brian's Tech Therapy sent you. This is probably the most exciting panel. I actually gave you a glimpse of my other most exciting panel this year last week, which was what I think will be the winner of the 8K Shootout. Today, I think we're looking at the winner of the 4K Value Electronics Shootout. Introduction will be done by Mr. Robert Zahn momentarily. We are filming today in the back part of the gallery in the projection room, as this panel is about to be calibrated as soon as I leave for the shootout. So time is of the essence. We're filming things a bit backwards. Without further ado, Mr. Robert Zahn. All right, guys, once again, we are here with a dear friend, owner, founder of Value Electronics, Mr. Robert Zahn. Robert, how are you, my friend?
All is great today. Thank you very much, Brian, for inviting us back and visiting here today.
Well, thank you for having me. This is the long-awaited panel that many of us have been waiting for, the whole industry has been waiting for. I've already cheated. We're not going to unbox this one. We've already spent about 2 hours in the showroom gallery portion, theater portion of the gallery, so we already know what it's all about. Why don't you tell us what it's all about today?
Very good. So today we are looking at Sony's new flagship Master Series Qd-Oled, the A95K, in a 65-inch screen size. We got the very first allocation and shipment. It arrived today, and we're shipping them nationwide immediately. This TV is world class. It was great to see the best color generating technology, quantum dot, no filters necessary, combined with the best emissive display technology, OLED. So congratulations to Samsung Display for developing this display technology, and congratulations to Sony for embracing it, putting it in their line, applying their new second generation of the XR processor with their excellent power supply, their heat sink to cool the panel, their outstanding contrast control. They upgraded the audio system even this year, so they left no detail untouched.
Well, Robert, seeing it, we were both here for the S95B, seeing the QD-OLED instantly out of the box when I saw it, there was a level of detail.
Yes.
That feels like that's the processor. Speak a little bit about the color. We're looking more, things get a little out of hand with brightness with QD-OLED. What I'm seeing is reflection handling, sound, and processing.
Yes. So that's another very nice thing on QD-OLED, is that there's little to almost no glare in reflection. So they, whatever, and that's the same thing with Samsung's S95B. It handles glare and reflection very, very well. So they did a great job with that. The color is very accurate, but we've never seen color like this before. So when you first look at it, it jumps and it pops. It just does a very accurate color fidelity. It does a very accurate color saturation, and extremely accurate color volume, all the way up to the highest peak lumens. You have full color volume. So this is not like any other TV we've ever seen before.
And interestingly, in the back, as we were sitting, I had thought we were already in custom or in cinema. The TV was actually in standard. Yes. And looked accurate even in probably its most inaccurate preset.
Yeah.
So even moving it back down to cinema,
yes,
we didn't lose any saturation or any of the punch, which I was surprised. A lot of times you jump out of standard.
That's right.
And you're like, ooh, let me get used to that.
Yes.
Off the charts immediately.
Yeah.
Speak to me, though, about the design, Robert, because there was a lot about the design. When you saw it in September, you rest assured, you said, don't worry about it, it's going to look amazing. Tell me a little bit about the two stands and its lean back, and it doesn't lean back that much.
That's right. So there's Pedestal stand included, a very strong heavyweight pedestal stand. I like them like that because it adds to the stability of the television. It's a very strong stand. It's beautifully designed. You can have the stand where it's all the way in the back only, so you don't see anything but the TV. There's no stand at all. And it has a very, very gradual, very minimal, slight lean backwards. It's extremely minimal. It adds to the stability of it when the mount is put in the back of the panel.
It's not noticeable at all, guys.
It's not. You don't notice it. It's not leaning back. If I said it didn't, you would believe that as well.
Yeah, what I like about what Wendy and Leanne both alluded to is that even when the stand is in its back position, there is a little bit of a gap where you can get under it. But it does have that almost eternal pool,
Yes.
infinity pool, where it comes out of the, it looks very high-end coming out of the stand. Very,
Yes, it
very
does.
beautiful.
Yes, it does. And then you can put that pedestal stand facing forward, and the advantage of doing that, other than the TV stands up totally straight, is you can push the TV back further and even touch the wall if you wanted to do that.
Yes.
If there's any reason to do that. So it matches a lot of different applications.
Now, the reason we're not unboxing one today, guys, is the one that has been unboxed is actually in the back. That's the one you'll see during this video that is getting ready for its shootout. Robert, Value Electronics Shootout is taking place next week, both 4K and 8K. My predictions, I'm going to give them to you already. My prediction is the 8K winner, and my prediction is actually right there, the LG Z2, and I'll speak on it as I walked in and saw the Sony. I was like, all right, we're done. Call it a day. You're very excited. You have your big yearly Super Bowl
Yes.
coming up.
Yes.
I mean, that's going to be amazing. We're going to have that on Shane's Spare Changes channel, live streaming the entire event.
Yes.
How excited are you for this lineup we're going to have this year?
Well, you know, I am excited every year because this is my passion in life. Outside of course, priority to my family.
Of course.
But this is my hobby and passion, and it has been that way for my whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
So seeing the new TVs every year does very much excite me. The last 2 years was the biggest upgrade we've seen since OLED TVs came out. So 2021 and 2022 were not just incremental upgrades, they were quite significant, both in panel development from LG Display, as well as Samsung Display, as well as even some of the mini LEDs are coming out much better this year. So the panels are upgraded. The blacks are great, the peak lumens is great, the detail and contrast throughout the entire dynamic tonal range is exceptional. Giving that much detail gives it more depth and it looks naturally 3D. That's a big jump this year.
Well, and we have mini LED. We have
doing great.
Qd-Oled. We have 8K OLEDs now. Very exciting year. I cannot wait. Robert, we'll also get you on camera before the shootout. We'll be filming at the shootout here and there.
Yes.
We'll get your thoughts on it. But thank you, as always, for your time.
Thank you so much. Just want to also mention this is another big upgrade year for processors as well.
Yeah.
So even though we saw the world-class XR from Sony, this is the new second-gen XR processor, retuned exactly for the models that they put it in.
Well, and stay right where that is, Robert. Actually, we're standing in front of an 83-inch A90J Master Series, which was last year's winner. This is also the exact panel that Robert has in its home.
That's correct.
And though it's still considered one of the best panels of all time, there is appreciable upgrade for the QD.
Yes, I would have to admit that myself.
Yeah, which is hard to say, but I'm telling you, the A90J is still king and it's still gorgeous.
So I look forward to everybody tuning in for the TV shootout and the results of the TV shootout. And we designed the voting ballot, the matrix of it, so that you select the parameters and use cases that match you. And what's the king of TV may not be the best choice for you, but you still use the results of the professional votes to figure out what is the best that matches your application and your needs.
Awesome. Well,
and I'll explain that in detail at the shootout.
Yeah. Well, I don't see any weaknesses in the lineup at all this year. So looking forward to it, Robert. Thank you as always.
Thank you, Brian, and all who are watching. Thank you.
All right, guys, here we are quickly looking at the design. I'm actually having Wendy hold a flashlight over my shoulder. Unfortunately, we are back in the projection theater room, showing you the very bezel-less design. Also, it looks like the panel's coming out of the table. This is the step back rear position, showing you the HDMIs that we have here. We have 4 HDMI, 2 HDMI 2.1. It is VRR out of the box, although the specs will say it requires an update. It is out of the box, ready to go. There is the design, very similar to the other Master Series. Master Series, you are paying for a more premium design. Love the stand, actually. Not obtrusive at all, not in the way. Beautiful design. You can see that same backing that the Master Series share. And when the QD-OLED was announced for both Samsung and Sony, the challenge, or at least the thought we would have as we look at the Bravia cam that also comes with all Master Series this year, we thought that the thickness of the A95 would be a problem, or its weight, where the S95B is very slim. Honestly, I do like the premium build quality of the A95K. Now, the demo material, before I get into it and show you it, my goal is to give you the most accurate image I possibly can with the equipment that I am using. I'm using different cameras, but I will say, me making it look as accurate as possible throughout this footage isn't anywhere near as colorful or as saturated as it is in person. So for this video, you'll see one preset will pretty much be in cinema the entire time and staying in a more accurate preset, though the A95K is absurdly accurate. Even when I went from standard, which is what it ships in, to cinema, or custom, the image did not look less saturated. So my goal to bring you the most accurate image. I will go back after this video, especially with the new equipment. I will show you all presets as we look at the backlit remote here, because for me, I do like to show all aspects of picture quality. The purists love to see the most accurate image, is what you're seeing throughout this entire video. But for many of you, I do want to show you pop as we run through the settings on the A95K. Very similar, if not exactly the same, as the other OLEDs in the lineup, the A80K and the A80J. We'll also have the A90K for you in a few weeks. Sony has a very amazing lineup this year. We've covered the Z9K, the X95K, the X90K, and the A80K. Killer lineup from them. But very, very impressed. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of the video saying that, and I do get criticized here for saying this is amazing and that is amazing, but honestly, guys, the quality of panels that I look at and give you my impressions of are of the highest end from these three companies, meaning it is their top tier. None of them are garbage. They're all amazing. The A90J Master Series that Robert was standing in front of is still considered one of the best panels of all time. What we're seeing is upgrades upon upgrades on almost perfection. So we've seen a crazy lineup from all three manufacturers this year. Leading into the TV year, we were all blown away by the QD-OLED S95B, which actually came out before the A95K. So this year has been a little bit crazy. The A95K was to be released before the Samsung at the end of the year, even maybe next year. This year, the S95B came and turned the entire TV world upside down. Shockingly good, amazing panel. But they continue to change the picture quality through updates. The A95K, for me, as I watch it, it is very vibrant, but it's the color that really stands out to me. It's the detail and the color that makes me say, wow. So in reality, this reminds me more of an 8K OLED. That's how the detail feels to me. Very colored, very saturated. Now, my regret is not filming more saturation for you. As I mess with the panels off camera, the settings anyway, there is much more headroom to make the A95K much more vibrant, much more saturated. You can do a lot more, and I'll cover that after the shootout in a totally separate video. But for now, for these first impressions, right now it is my favorite 4K panel this year. Absolutely beautiful. I love the QD-OLEDs. I wish they were larger. Right now they are in 55 and 65. The Sony, I do favor right now compared to where these panels are. Very natural, very accurate, bright. Does feel brighter than the other OLEDs. We will have the S95B go against it again in the shootout. We would have it here in the studio, but for right now, we have them. Just this quick look. As I'm mentioning, as I leave, this panel will begin to become calibrated for the shootout. At the end of this video, you will hear the sound quality, which it does sound excellent. We'll be playing Jennifer Gala and the HCR Super Channels content for that. For the last few minutes, you will hear that sound quality. Please check the description for Jennifer's amazing content. But I think it's absolutely gorgeous, super accurate. It's much more colorful than you're seeing here. As I mentioned, I will be, again, jumping through presets in the next video, because I do like to push these panels to see what they can really do. But it's here for me. It's fine detail, it's color, it's precision, and I do feel this is the best 4K panel this year. Now, the S95B, also phenomenal. The S95B, I feel, was more brute force, and I love that panel as well. But it did go through some changes that I don't exactly agree with, and the A95K out of the box looks unbelievable. And again, while it looks unbelievable, it looks very accurate. If you told me it was calibrated, I would agree with you. So it does have a very natural look, but it can be saturated if you need it to be. Absolutely beautiful. As we wander in here to some SDR content, very detailed. And again, if you were telling me that it was 8K, I would believe you. I'm not just saying that. But when I'm there in person and I take the audio out, when you hear me say, wow, 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 it's really, really amazing. So my prediction for the shootout, I'll say it here. I would predict the A95K would win the 4K shootout and the LG Z2 would win the 8K. But I am thinking that perhaps we may see the 4K win overall, being a Quantum Dot OLED. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, the last few minutes after this specific, after this demo here will be Jennifer Gala's sound material. But it looks exquisite. And again, if it doesn't feel very colorful to you, it's much more colorful in person, and there's much more headroom to get more out of the panel. Really beautiful. Motion also exquisite. No judder or any problems like that. Really, really beautiful. And again, Sony having the headroom in their settings. Also want to mention quickly before we move over to the next demo is for the majority of these, though we're in a bright room, there is a reflection behind me that you can't see, which is very impressive. For many of these, the curtains are open behind me. Right here, you can see a little bit of the reflection, but the reflection handling on these is amazing. So I wanted to add that little bit of reflection handling in the end of the video so you guys could see it. All All right, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know who you think will win the 4K shootout, the 8K shootout, and the overall between the two. Special thank you again to Value Electronics. Let me know if this panel is on your radar, what you think about Sony's entire lineup this year, and if QD-OLED is something you're considering, and would you consider getting a smaller 65 or 55 inch panel instead of a larger WRGB OLED? It's a very interesting question. For me, I still need the size. All right, guys, here comes Jen's content. Have a great night. Love you guys.